Welcome to July's edition, 2022 that is, of Watch Me Suck at Bowling. If this looks familiar, that's because we tried going here last month and the time was wrong. They said they were open at 11, they weren't actually open till 1:30. Now they say 1, it still looks empty, but I can wait a little bit. Anyway, this is what used to be Harvard Lanes, and they still have some of the stuff there. You can still see some of the original color somewhat through. Didn't quite get it all. They kind of covered up the bowlers. I don't know if you can see it. You can't see it in the viewfinder. Anyway, before we get here, and in case you're wondering why it's called 204 lanes, it's not because of 204 lanes, obviously. Anyway, let's look at traffic while we go over highs and lows as of now. In the land of the candlepins, it's a 148 done at Putnam Street, the only locally available bowling in the Fitchburg-Leominster area now. And 44 was done at Mason's, no longer a bowling alley, becoming something else. In the land of the ducks, 147 done at Collins Bowlodrome, 58 done at North Chelmsford Lanes. That was due to the pin cam being in the approach, and the approaches are very short. Once I moved it, everything was fine. Then the land of the 10 pins. 169, not a point higher. And yes, that is a real number. Trying to do it to Jason Belmonte, and boy, did it not work. Yes, 26. That was actually a score. And those are highs and lows as of now, and hopefully this time we're going to actually see the inside of this place. So of course, as soon as I walk in, they turn on the music. Anyway, there's where the desk now is, and the restrooms are now where the desk used to be. They put in a small mini golf game right there. And there was a birthday party planned for the day, which is where that is set up. That's the new restaurant, so to speak. And the arcade is in the same spot as it was when it was Harvard Lanes. There's not too many games in there, though. But, to be fair, the place just started, so there's probably more coming. You can see the old equipment is still there, the old chairs, the old tables, but much better done, much better looking, more modern. Not that hideous paint scheme. And of course, we look downstairs and nothing. I think they're probably going to use that for storage. And since nobody is in here but me and that one guy, I'm going to take a look at the new restrooms. And they are pretty spotless, yo. They're pretty spotless. However, there seems to be a little bit of a glitch with the lighting. It seems to fade in and out. And that's the look of what this place is like. We will be bowling on lane number 1, and as you can see, the paint scheme in this place is definitely better than the pukey, weird tan stuff that was around. Anyway, we're bowling with the Epco Urethane Proline balls, the only thing professional you're about to see on this channel, and that's the bowling balls. And now it's time for those famous words you've been waiting for. It's now time to watch me suck at bowling. Frame one, game one, bowling. You get to enjoy a camera that looks like the 60s TV show Batman. Ball 2. So far, not too bad. Piece of wood to help knock out the 7-pin for a spare. Ball 3. If only one could just aim the bowling ball. We start off with a 9, which isn't too bad. For those of you who like the pin setters, here's the Bowlmore in action, taking care of the one that I couldn't. They're gone. Here comes a fresh set of 10. And there you go. So far, a pretty decent start. Let's see if we can keep it going.
Ball 2.
The traditional first ball 7 or 10 pin thing came a bit early.
Ball 3.
Narrow leaves, how I hate thee. We end that frame with a decent 8. So far, it's a fairly decent start. We got a 9 in 1, and then a narrow leave in frame 2 made things a little difficult, but we got 8. So far, a decent 17.
Frame 3, ball 1.
Of course, it would be better if we got marks, but right now, not too bad.
Ball 2.
Again, we got a fairly makeable spare with a piece of wood to help, but remember who's trying.
Ball 3.
I think the middle part we've already taken care of. If that were only ball 2, but a 10 ain't bad.
Frame 4, ball 1.
Now that plate can be cleared, let's see if we can do it in less than 3 balls. Welcome to Masons!
Ball 2.
With my skills, quarter whisters are hard to bounce back from.
Ball 3.
Even if we get nothing more, 7 off a quarter whister is better than usual. We leave the bowling god's middle finger. 9 is not bad. These next 2 frames were just a hair better. We got a 10 in 3, wishing the second ball didn't whiff. Then it could have been a spare. And then we got a 9 in 4, although El Stinko, the bonus ball, if it were a spare, would have only been a 1. Didn't matter much anyway. 36.
Frame 5.
We're starting to find the head pin more often. Now it's just a matter of making it count.
Ball 2.
This is a fairly makeable spare. If we miss the pin, plan B on both sides. And there's the first mark we've been waiting for.
Frame 6, ball 1. El Stinko, the bonus ball.
What will the bonus be? Let's find out. El Stinko was a bit weak with a 4.
Ball 2.
At least the leave isn't terrible. Could probably have a decent end.
Ball 3.
The center diamond. This usually does not end well. There's an exception. The kingpin remains for 9. Once again, the next 2 frames beat the previous. We got a spare in 5. Then we got a 9 in 6. Unfortunately, El Stinko, the bonus ball, only took out 4. But we're at 59.
Frame 7, ball 1.
Not sure if we can keep the 2-frame improvement thing going on. Let's see.
Ball 2.
Took out the right side. Now let's see if we can take out the left side.
Ball 3.
Of course, we need to get rid of the left side, but that was just a hair too far to the left. Yeah, those usually don't end well. That's a 7.
Frame 8, ball 1.
That was a tough frame. Let's see if we can bounce back.
Ball 2.
Looks like it's possible that the downward spiral has begun.
Ball 3.
It should be easy to get at least one of those. And one we did, the hard one, 9. Unfortunately, the 2-frame upswing could not continue, but then again, it was asking a bit much. Got a weak 7 and 7, decent 9 and 8. We got a decent 75 so far.
Frame 9, ball 1.
Hopefully we can bounce back. The 9 was kind of a hint that maybe things might.
Ball 2.
Nothing even came close to touching that kingpin.
Ball 3.
Not even the bowling ball wants to come all that close to the king. And it shall remain for 9.
Last frame, ball 1.
This has turned out to be a fairly decent game, but let's see if we can make it even better.
Ball 2.
That is one of my least favorite leaves. Those usually don't end well either.
Ball 3.
It all ends with the snowplow and a piece of wood to help. So close, but 9. This wasn't a very bad first game, but could this be the Harvard curse? Anyway, before we get to that, you got a pair of 9s and 9 and 10 for a 93. And the Harvard curse is the first game is the high one, and each one gets worse as we go. So now the question is it going to happen? Or are we going to finally break that curse? That will wrap up Game 1 of 4 for the month of July 2022's edition of Watch Me Suck at Bowling. From 204 Lanes in Harvard, Massachusetts, this is George F551 saying hope you enjoyed and have a good one.